So Eva makes six figures per month without posting value content on YouTube. And in this video, I'm gonna break down her simple Instagram strategy to sign qualified high ticket clients without cold outreach or ads. Her unique method to stand out in one of the most saturated niche of sales, and exactly how you can plug everything inside your high ticket coaching business to scale it to six figures in 2026. So let's start with positioning strategy. And her niche is a remote high ticket sales, right? And the way you understand her positioning strategy is simply with this diagram, right? So at level one, we have everyone in remote high ticket sales, right? So it includes every age group, every gender, every profession. So literally everyone, right? But a layer deeper, in level two, we have only men in high ticket sales. So the market is still very broad, but it's much niched than targeting everyone, right? Then we have the level three, which is Ava's audience, which is women stuck in a job. So instead of going after everyone, or instead of only targeting men, she is only targeting the women who are stuck in a job, right? So she will also do that, right? Like, this is everyone in the, high ticket sales, right? This is men in high ticket sales, and she could also do that, women in high ticket sales, right? Which is next level to this one, right? But that way she will be attracting all of the women who wanna be in remote high ticket sales, and that way the market will be much broader, and she won't be able to, like, target a very specific kind of ideal customer, right? But what she has done is she has packaged her marketing in such a way that she is only attracting the women who are stuck in a job and looking for an escape, right? So instead of targeting everyone in high ticket sales, she only goes after women who are stuck in a 9 to 5, right? And that's exactly what her Instagram says. When you stumble upon her profile, you instantly know that who she is, what she does, which is the proof, and the exact call to action to sign up for her, a free master class, right? And when we see her highlights, you can instantly identify that it's shouting proof, because in marketing, proof always wins over promises. So if you can show proof that your stuff works, that you have gotten the results for other people, other students, other mentees, you are gonna make money because your stuff works, right? So proof is always better, and she is just hammering the proof as much as she can in the highlights. And there are hundreds of proofs in her highlights, and there are another kind of highlights that she's doing, which is FAQs, right? So these are the most frequently asked questions uh that are given from her followers, right? So she's simply answering them, and it's kind of like objection handling, right? So these might be some of the objections that can prevent them to take action. So she is pre-handling all of those objections so that they cannot give those objections when they are on the sales call, right? And when we look at the reels, her pinned reels are just working as a instant credibility builder. So she's going through her story, how she went from broke to rich, and exactly how you can do that, right? So if there is a woman who is out there struggling in a job, it is basically giving them a hope, right? And people always pay money when they have hope that, okay, this thing will work for me, right? So Ava is basically selling the high ticket sales. So people women when see that Ava went through sales and made six figures, so I might be able to, like, master sales and make six figures per month, just because of that, just how Ava has done, right? So that's exactly what Pain Reels does. And she is making two type of reels. The first one is exclusive mindset for women, and the second one is specific sales strategies. So the goal of the first one is to target unaware audience, and the TAM is very huge. and the TAM is in millions of women, right? So the goal of this kind of reels, exclusive mindset content for women, is to basically make content specifically for women who are stuck in a job, right, or women who are broke, and tap into that unaware market, the tap into the market in which the women who do not know about Eva, right? And this content makes them start watching Eva and enter her ecosystem, right? So this content basically attracts new women to her Instagram, to her funnel, and let them start watching her reels, so that they can eventually start watching her sales strategies and eventually become her client, right? And on an awareness level, if we see, it falls under the unaware category, right? So she's basically sharing the stories, secrets, her personal stories, and very like broad mindset content, but packaged specifically for women who are in a job, right? Then we have the sales strategies. So this mainly for women who already know what high ticket sales is, who are already in high ticket sales, and who just want to learn about high ticket sales from somebody who is credible, right? So this falls under the awareness level of product aware and solution aware, right? So the TAM is very niched. So like instead of if we compare to this in exclusive mindset content, the TAM is in millions, but right here the TAM is in a very it's very niche. It's still in thousands of people, but it's specifically targeting women who already have some idea about high ticket sales, and who just want to learn more about that. And once they are in, they start scrolling her value driven sales strategies with actual sauce and zero bullshit. So when you watch these reels, they actually have value, they have actually the stuff that will work for you in sales. And she's isn't sharing this surface level info, right? This is the info that you can directly apply in your sales scenarios, and you can start gathering the results. And these are the actual real life sales tactical hacks that anyone can apply in high ticket sales, right? So simply put, exclusive mindset content makes the unaware market enter her funnel, which is basically women who are stuck in a job, and then they basically watch her sales strategies, which works as a credibility builder. Like Eva, of course, know her stuff, so she is credible to talk about it. And it also works as a as a conversion mechanism. So basically, she is positioning herself on the top of the on the top of high ticket sales. So if you want to learn sales from me, this is the this is the proof, right? Like I am making videos about sales, I'm sharing content about sales, so I am credible to actually to learn sales from, right? And then we come on her YouTube. And on YouTube, she's not making very specific content. She isn't dialing the content strategy, but simply she is very niched in her approach. So she's making a niched sales content, right? So every single video mentioning the high ticket remote sales, the remote sales, high ticket remote sales. So the idea is basically only attracting the women who already know about high ticket sales. The goal of her YouTube channel isn't to have like thousands of subscribers or millions of views. It's simply to have few hundred views, to basically convert the women who are already watching her as a client, right? And on the awareness level, it falls in the solution aware category, because they already know about high ticket sales and what high ticket sales does. So that's her approach, which is basically a very niche, right? And the second kind of content she's making is case studies. So she would simply upload the videos of girls who have worked with her and who have gotten great results. And on awareness level, it simply falls under the category of most aware, right? Because these are the videos are gonna be watched by the girls who are already know what who Ava is and what she does and how she does, and just want to know how they can actually benefit themselves working with her, right? And from her YouTube, she's simply sending all that traffic to a VSL funnel, And you see, this headline on a awareness level falls under the problem where, right? And she's simply highlighting the benefit and anxieties of the customer. So benefits are financially free, right, in 90 days, and the opportunity that she is simply promoting is remote sales, right? Because at this point they already know about, you know uh, remote sales. They have watched some of her Instagram content, sales strategies. They already know that, this is the opportunity that they can actually use to financially free themselves. So they are already pre-sold on the opportunity of remote sales, right? And this one VSL simply explains that, how they can get started in remote high ticket sales. And this is simply a basically a free training. This basically, she's telling you that you will get a free training when you sign up your data. And the whole point of this one video is to make you give her data, right? So that she can basically upsell you in the future. And they are basically building an email list as well, right? And I'm gonna just break down the video that she has made. So it starts with the hook, which is "Stop me if this sounds familiar," and it directly jumps in the ICB bubble, which is basically pains, fears, doubt, dreams, which is basically the stuff that they are thinking constantly every single time in their mind, and they're not sharing everyone. They are just secretly thinking about it, right? And then she is telling her story, that before she was broke, and then she found sales, and then she found remote high ticket sales, and she backed that up with some note statements. So note statements are basically curiosity builders. So if it's not MLM, not drop shipping, not another build your personal brand course, so that works as a curiosity builder in copywriting. And then she explains what remote high ticket sales is, then how she reached her breakthrough, and then she basically highlights some proof of other people who have worked with her. And then she simply handles the objection that one of the ICP can give. And she basically pre-handles this objection. So if any of her ICP have this objection, they can simply be pre-handled, so they cannot give that objection in a sales call, right? And then she future pace, and she is basically painting the picture that the future of the ICP that's gonna happen if they basically apply for high ticket sales. So this is the outcome that's gonna happen if you sign up for her program, her course, which is remote high ticket sales. And then she simply qualifies you that they are only working with the people who are serious, not tag kickers. And then we have a simple call to action, right? And this is simply a quick video that she makes. And from this video you simply give her your data, and you simply watch this free training, which is basically a 10-minute free training. And this basically gives you enough things that you can apply everything on your own, right? You can basically go learn a remote addict sales yourself, and you can simply make money yourself, right? Which is basically the hard path or the long way, right? But if you want a quick way or the fast way, you can simply apply for her coaching, and then you can start working with her, right? Like, that's the whole point. So the people who wanna work with her, they would basically fill out this qualification form, right? They would start from if they are currently working, and then they would basically describe their role, and they would describe their age, their income, and they're the like the most like, what limits their ability to earn more, and how are they open to like learn more about remote high ticket sales, and which outcome they are looking for, and if they have the money to invest in her program. And then simply name and last a name, so that they can simply send you on a Calendly page, and you can simply schedule a call, right? So from there the sales process happens. So only three scenarios happen: either leads will show up, or it's going to be a no show, or it's going to be a no close. So people who are a no close are going to be sent with the free resources, which is with Instagram, YouTube, email list and all. So the goal is to make them schedule a call again. and the people who are on no show are gonna be follow up with SMS and emails to reinitiate the conversation, and the people who actually show up are gonna be close and are gonna be joining her close academy, and they just simply repeat this process again and again. They simply add more traffic to her funnel. They basically convert more traffic, and they basically close more traffic, and this is simply the most simplest funnel that she is using to make six figures per month. And if you want me to actually help you apply everything right here, like this in your business, just click the first link in the description and schedule a call. God bless.